The Vancouver Canucks making headlines. J.T. Miller signed 7 years, $8 million per. You know what that means, right? Question of the day time. Welcome back, hockey fans. Welcome in if this is your first time to the channel. I'm Josh. This is the Hockey Flow, and today it's Saturday, September 3rd, 2022. Man, that's right, the Vancouver Canucks shocking the world a little bit. Feels like just yesterday we were hearing from their GM that they were shopping J.T. Miller. We're not going to be able to re-sign a player of that caliber. We're just not going to be able to afford it. Well, guess what, guys? They fooled us. He signed 7 years, $8 million per. So you know what that means? We got another question of the day. We're going to get to that in just a moment on Today in Hockey. But before we get to that, we got to get through Today in Hockey history. Oh, wait. No Today in Hockey history. Don't worry, guys. It's not going anywhere. We're still doing our Today in Hockey history each day, but it's going to be its own separate video. We're going to do some YouTube shorts under a minute just so you can get your daily dose of hockey history, but we're still going to keep bringing you these videos as well, so make sure you subscribe to the channel. Take a moment, like the video if you do enjoy the content. Helps us out a ton. We're just getting started, but the NHL season, it's right around the corner. You want to make sure you never miss a beat. All right, so here we go. Question of the day time. The Vancouver Canucks and J.T. Miller. They went ahead, they pulled the trigger on this massive extension, 7 years, $8 million AAV on this puppy. So I have one question. Is signing J.T. Miller to a 7-year, $8 million AAV deal the right move for the Vancouver Canucks? With help from Jfresh Hockey, hockeyreference.com, and Cap Friendly, we take a look at J.T. Miller's past, including last season deep dive, and then we look at some players that are also making around that $8 million AAV mark to see how he stacks up against the competition. So let's dive right into it, all right? See if we can answer this question of the day. So here we go. This was 2021-2022 season and before. Big shout out again to Jfresh Hockey on the team card and the player card. Absolutely love these things. Thank you so much. And then hockeyreference.com for the stats, because without the stats, where would we be? So let's take a look at the Canucks and J.T. Miller. Essentially, it was the tale of two cities here. We got J.T. Miller, a career season. The Vancouver Canucks, not so much. But it wasn't J.T. Miller's fault because, again, he had a career season. Let's look at the numbers here. Games played, 80. He had 32 goals, 67 assists, good for 99 points. Oh, so close to that 100-point mark. But I tell you what, all of those career highs, and that is absolutely fantastic. 32 goals, 67 assists for 99 points. I'm going to say it again because it was that good. But his player card also stacks up really nice. And the Canucks team card, of course we're going to see more red because they did finish a little lower in the standings than they would have liked. But we do see some blue in there as well, so it wasn't all bad, right? We do see that goals against number was actually ranked out pretty highly. So, but J.T. Miller, we see a lot of blue. These player cards, blue good, red bad. We don't see very much red at all, and the spots that we do see red, do they really matter for him? Because he had an excellent season. So let's take a look at the numbers. Again, he sets career highs in points, goals, assists, but I tell you what, the one number that stands out the most to me is that shooting percentage. Look at that shooting percentage all the way back to 2015, 2016, 16.3, 16.7, 16.1, 12.0, 16.4, 14.2, and 15.5. Talk about consistency. If anything, the number dropped a tiny bit last season, and he has his career year. So you know what? That tells me that his shot, he has it. He's always had it, right? Maybe it's just about getting more ice time, getting more experience. He has to get the reps under his belt. We talk about that with some of these young players when we break them down. Well, it seems like something clicked for J.T. Miller. If we look at the points, 43, 56, 58, 47, then 72. My goodness, quite the jump. And it does kind of make sense that would jump with his average time on ice, right? 14 minutes to 20 minutes, and the production match. Coaches love to see it, they start to trust him even more and more. Now, of course, we have the COVID season a couple years ago, so we're gonna exclude that one a little bit for argument's sake. But last season continued that positive trend. He is over a point per game player, and we're gonna see in just a moment where that stacks up compared to others. And it was a little surprising to me. So that shooting percentage not moving, that has always been consistent, tells me that he's going to be able to keep doing this, and we shouldn't have to worry too much about this being maybe a one-hit wonder or a one-season showing, and then this season he's going to have a big drop-off. We don't see anything to give us that indication. So honestly, the question I really want to ask is, should we have seen this coming? Because I tell you what, 72 points, he's an over a point per game player, and then we have the COVID season, but he still played really well, and then last season he just pops off. So I really think we probably should have seen this coming, but he had an excellent season last year, and so far it's had a solid NHL career. But 7 years, $8 million AAV. How does that stack up against the rest? So we did a video on Tage Thompson, right? Did the Buffalo Sabres overpay for Tage Thompson? And he came in at $7 million per. Now I know that's apples to oranges, right? These are two completely different players, opposite ends of the spectrum here. Tage Thompson, young lad, just getting started, had his first breakout season. JT Miller, been around a little longer, 29 years old this season, going to be 30 next March. Different players. But JT Miller is now making $8 million AAV starting not this season, it will be next season. But I thought it'd be fun to pull the numbers from Cap Friendly. These are all the players that are making between $7.9 million and $8.2 million for this coming season. So where does JT Miller stack up against the rest? So some players that stand out right away, Jack Hughes. First and foremost, my goodness, that contract that Jack Hughes signed, $8 million per, he signed through 29-30. Exact same as JT Miller. And the Devils have this young lad locked up for that entire time. My goodness, Devils fans rejoice. This is wonderful. As long as he can stay healthy, you guys got yourself a heck of a bargain at $8 million per. It's looking better and better. Look at those numbers. He only played in 49 games last season, but he did average more than a point per game. Absolutely fantastic. And that shot percentage, right around JT Miller's of 16%. Matt Duchene also had an incredible season last year. I really hadn't noticed. I mean, you knew he's in the headlines, right? We see the highlights, you see the goals, but man, the underlying numbers, 19% shot percentage, that's fantastic. 86 points in 78 games. Woofda. Now, when we look at the comps, right, we look at a couple of players and they stand out. One player I called out was Jack Hughes, right? The other player that really stands out to me is Tomas Hertl. And that's partly because of age, right? Age, position, all of that. We could go the Logan Couture route, but he is 33 right now. Or he was 33 last season. So Logan Couture is a little aged out for this comp. So I did go ahead and I pulled Jack Hughes and Tomas Hertl. So is he closer to Jack Hughes or is he closer to Tomas Hertl? I really do think he's closer to Tomas Hertl, and that's not a slight against JT Miller at all. It's just speaking to where he's at in his career. He's going to be 30 years old next March. 30 years old. Jack Hughes, 21. So opposite ends of the spectrum. Now, Tomas Hertl had a great season, right? 86% WAR according to Jfresh Hockey. Not bad at all. Definitely was a two-way player, a little more impact offensively than defensively. He did have kind of a strong start to the season as well. Overall, though, we see 82 games played, 30 goals, 34 assists for 64 points. Not bad at all. But if you look at these numbers, JT Miller's point per game last season, better than all of them. Better than all of them. JT Miller, I think he does value, or I think he is worth that $8 million, just looking at the points, looking at the impact he has on the Canucks. But that age, it does worry me. This is a 7-year deal. He's going to be signed through the 29-30 NHL season. Think about that. 29-30 NHL season. My goodness, I don't even want to compute. So we take a look at Jack Hughes, Tomas Hertl. The age worries me, but do I think that this was the right move for the Vancouver Canucks? I absolutely do. I think it is, and this is why. The Canucks need to keep good players, right? And they especially need to keep good players who want to be here. I know the Canucks, and I know Canucks fans, you guys don't want to be a part of a big rebuild forever. It seems like we've always been working on being right in the middle of the playoff hunt, and then all of a sudden it doesn't work out for us at the end. But there was a glory day, right? The glory days. We want to get back to that. So I do think that this was a great move for the Canucks because the Canucks need to keep players that want to be there and good players that want to be there. They had a down season last year. Elias Pettersson didn't live up to expectations. He wasn't as good as they wanted him to be or he wanted to be. I fully expect him to bounce back. Check out the video on him before, but the age does concern me. In the short term, this is a great deal, I think, for the Canucks because they're keeping talent in-house. $8 million, sure, it's a little high, but I also think it could be a value. Look at the numbers, 99 points. 99 points. Who cares if he's 30 years old? If he can produce like this for the next few seasons, I think the Canucks will be in great shape. But let me know, guys, what do you guys think of the JT Miller signing? Beast Mode, I know this one was very interesting for you were very interested in this one, so big shout out to you, good sir. But thank you guys all. I do appreciate you. Let me know in the comments what you guys think on the JT Miller signing, but we'll be back. Until tomorrow, cheers.